What's up, everybody, and welcome to my AEW Dynamite review. There's been a lot that has happened in the past few hours before this show even went on tonight. Now, before I do begin this review, number one, check out my AEW All Out review, which is online right now, so go check that out. But now we get to the main part of this whole thing of how this was going to be handled, okay? Everybody knows what happened last Sunday. We've seen many, many reports in the past few days wondering what was going to happen on Dynamite. And what we have learned earlier today is that several people have been suspended, which are the Elite of Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, Christopher Daniels, Pat Buck, Michael Nakanaka. Well, I won't be funny here and say get off my TV, but Michael Nakazawa and Brandon Cutlet, whatever his name is. I believe that's all the names that were suspended, as I believe Ace Steel and CM Punk, which never really apparently they did not official say he was suspended, but he is suspended now because now the AEW World Championship and the six-man tag titles have been um have been vacated. So now they need to have new champions and whatnot. Now, I know they did not really address this on TV. I know basically, they cut it to Excalibur, Taz, and Shivani. I don't think JR was there tonight. But basically, though, they kicked it off and they went to Tony Khan immediately, which he did get booze. And what does he do about this whole thing? Because one, when the show did start, they did try to play what happened at All Out, you know, All Out from Sunday with the MJF return. Notice one thing is that they made sure not to show they made sure not to show CM Punk during that whole segment, and they did not even mention CM Punk or the Elite. None of their names were mentioned. Basically said the titles have been vacated. Tony Khan was there, and one, that there will be new trios champions tonight, which it would be the Best Friends versus the Death Triangle. And as for the AEW World Title, another tournament. A tournament. I don't want to see another tournament. It's a tournament every time some pay-per-view or another tournament ends, another one begins. Okay. I really don't want to see another tournament. This is leading into the Grand Slam show. And people that are gonna meet in there, we got Jericho in there, and I guess whoever wins between Hangman and Danielson, which Chris Jericho did spoil that match tonight. Um, they go against Jericho. Well, we already know who's going against Jericho now. It was already spoiled before the match even happened. Darby versus Sammy. They would face John Moxley, and then we would get another new champion. I don't think it needs to be that. I don't want to see another tournament. Like I said, it's too many tournaments every time. It's just they just love tournaments. Okay, I would have done, several people I know would have done the same thing. They could have just had Moxley, who is the former world champion, face MJF, who won the whole chip, ladder casino thing and whatnot, and they can face a grand slam for the world championship. Not do another long, needless tournament for the next few weeks. Oh, okay, we don't need to see that. But listen, this was the best way they could handle this whole situation. I wouldn't have done a tournament, but did they have to strip the belts off everybody? Yes, they did. And looking at the whole situation is this to what I have seen and heard, because at the end of the day, we don't know what really happened back there. This is what a lot of us has read and what was reported, and maybe a lot of it is real, okay? Because Punk, they said was injured, but that was before, the whole apparent fight happened backstage and whatnot. And the thing is this, because we can go back to the media scrum. We know what CM Punk said. Um, even if you don't like CM Punk, even I had to sit there and a lot of people had to sit there and say that he was not wrong on a lot of the stuff he said. Okay, honestly he really wasn't. Okay, a lot of the stuff he really did, I thought he made sense about. Okay, because I think the Cabana stuff, like I said Sunday, I think he was really telling the truth about that, and I think he was just fed up with a lot of the bullshit and rumors being spread around from the Elite, and he just went loose on everything. And I don't think he really should have said that out in public during the media scrum and whatnot. But I think Punk just had a lot of pent up frustration, and he just got tired of just people kept bullshitting him. So he just went out and did what he did. And he did told him, if y'all got a problem with me, come find me, let's go. Now, the reason why a lot of those people were suspended that I named earlier was that they said CM Punk was in the locker room, and now all those people came in there. I guess they all wanted a piece of Punk, and basically, I don't know who. We don't know who swung first, but basically, it looks to me that these guys tried to jump CM Punk, and you got to give Ace Steel credit all the way if this is true, because I know they said his wife was there and she was hurt and she was watching Punk's dog, but he a real one for real, for just jumping in there, taking a chair and throwing at one of them and whatnot. Like, yeah, he's still trying to. He's protecting his wife, but at the same time, it's like he ain't about to let his homie get jumped by 7 people and whatnot. Because like I said, Punk did tell the Elite to come see him, but then again, when all these guys with the Elite are coming. Let's remember, all these guys are cool with the Elite like that. Okay, all those names from Christopher Daniels to Nakazawa to Cutler to I guess Pat Buck and I think that's everyone I named and whatnot, they're all cool with the Elite like that, okay? So damn near like a 7-on-1 jumping, okay? And Ace Steel had to make the save and everything. So I'm not really mad at Steel and them for jumping in, helping his friend out, okay? Because he went in and he wasn't about to let this shit happen. And I don't know who swung on first, but when I'm hearing reports that they end up kicking in the door, and I think it's kind of funny how some fans on the internet want to go. Um, Oh yeah, they had to kick in the door, act like that's not fighting words. If somebody kick my door in, and I see 7 motherfuckers come through, what you think I'm about to do? Argue with all 7 of these people? Like I said, if it was just the Elite, like 2 or 3, that's one thing. But if 7 people try to walk up, kick in my door, and walk in, basically that's a fight right there. Like, I gotta protect me before. Like, cause what if one of them hit me? Then I don't see it coming. Then I'm fucked up. Then so like I gotta swing to protect myself and get my way up out of there. Then if some motherfuckers come in and surround me, one piece, you kicking my door, like that's starting shit right there. Okay, like I said, Punk welcomed it, but I'm like, damn, it takes 7 of y'all just to jump one guy. Like if that's true, like 7 of y'all though, that don't make no sense. And this whole thing goes back for a while now with the whole EVPs and should current active wrestlers really have that type of power and stuff, because we've seen there's been problems in the past. We can go all the way back to Cody Rhodes also, which I'll say right now, Cody Rhodes made the right choice and got up out of there when he could, but I think when power was taken away from him, because let's remember, it's two different styles of booking when it came to AEW. There's the Elite's booking, and then there's Cody Rhodes' booking and whatnot. And a lot of people like Cody Rhodes' booking over the Elite, some would say. But I think once his power was taken away, I think Cody knew when to get up out of there. And we've heard there were problems anyways. I personally think Cody made the right choice of going back to WWE. You see where he is. I know he's hurt right now, but you see where the position he was in when he was, in WWE before he got hurt. The guy was damn near bigger star than he was in AEW. So, I don't really blame him and stuff. So we knew, like I said, we knew there were problems already, and we've heard it before. I just think now with Punk, it's more publicly being known out there to everybody of what the fuck's going on and stuff. And I'm trying not to go by sides here because everybody's now picking sides between the Elite and CM Punk. I don't really like how they've tried to make CM Punk look like the bad guy and out of all this too and whatnot. Because he said a lot. I personally think he said a lot of truth. Okay, I think some of the stuff he said up there was actual truth and whatnot. So I'm like, well, if he's got this much detail and everything and proof, like, well, hey, you guys should like maybe this guy is right. I don't know what he's talking about and stuff. Because even the Cabana thing, like I said, the Cabana thing, it's always been between both of them. But I think he just got the whole tired of people blaming him, like that he sent them the Ring of Honor, and he just basically says, "I do not give a fuck what this man does. I have not messed with this man for years. Okay, I ain't talked to him for years." And some would say that, and even with Tony Khan, no. Tony Khan just sat there and he did nothing. He really didn't do anything. You look at him, he didn't know what to do. And some would say Punk was probably taking shots at him because, at one point when he's saying, and my friend told me this, Gerard, it's the part when he says, like, this man shares an account with his mother. That tells you the type of man he is. And some would say about Tony Khan. Some would make a joke saying he's sharing the same account as his father. That tells you the type of man he is. And there was just times where Punk was like, I'm trying to run a business here. Or almost like, Tony, you don't need to say that. It's almost like, who's really in charge here at the same time? is Punk in charge or is Tony Khan in charge? Now, Punk may have been talking from, like the wrestling perspective of it. I don't know, but it almost kind of looked like he took more charge of the whole media scrum, and Tony just kind of sat there. And he did admit that. I believe what Nick Jackson was spreading those rumors out. It was admitted. Go back and look at the video. You can see it. But you know, Punk is almost like he was just like taking control. And you kind of look at Tony Khan, and I get the decision he had to make tonight by stripping him all the belts and suspending everybody. But you wonder is like people looking at him like this guy doesn't look like a leader, and he doesn't know what he's doing. It looks like everybody is just running in the back. There's cliques, there's groups. We've known this for a while. We've known there's been problems in AEW in the back for a while, but it's like everybody's got their own crew and everything in the back. That it's just everybody taking sides, and that there's no real leader in the back or a locker room leader and stuff. And it looks like Tony Khan hasn't really not been doing that and everything. It's like it is. That's why people bring up the term "all friends wrestling" and whatnot. We know the elite has hired most of their friends and everything, or pushed them. But what Tony Khan also has to learn is this: there's a difference between you can't be everybody's friend. You still have to be a boss at the end of the day. And he has not come off like a boss. He's just trying to come off of being everybody's friend and cool. And we've heard stories like that before. It's even I can go back to the Big Swole thing. It's almost like, hey, I'll talk all this stuff now, but we was all cool in the bag. What does Big Swole say? Smoke a weed. Don't get me wrong. I didn't really think Big Swole was that great of a wrestler, but Big Swole did expose a lot of structure of what was going on back there too. And I just kind of looked at Tony Khan like, hey, we was all cool. Now you want to talk shit? Why? Like, kind of going into that. So we know there've been problems. We know there've been problems. And right now, a lot of this you could say is making the company look bad, and it really is and stuff, just between the elite and Punk. So I don't know what happens. I don't know if they will fire any of these people. I know a lot of people most likely want Punk fired and whatnot. I don't know unless CM Punk walks out on his own and leaves. Then we don't really know right now because right now everybody is suspended. Okay, the belts have been stripped. Nobody has been mentioned on TV. Not for, like I said, not the elite or CM Punk. And I'm sure they won't be mentioned for the foreseeable future for the time being until they figure something out that's going to go on with this or whatever the next move is. Because, yes, they did not address it tonight. It was basically business as usual. We're not going to talk about these guys. We're just going to strip the belts and we're just going to act like nothing happened. Even though we all know and read and we know what's gone on over the weekend and stuff. We all know. But, and stuff, but they just gonna have to move on and just move on to the next thing. That's all they really can do, okay? Like, it's a lot of stuff going on right now. I'm not gonna go into the whole Malachi Black situation of him getting his release granted and everything. I'm sure everybody's saying, like, oh, he's going back to WWE. Wouldn't surprise me if he does, but it's a non-compete type of thing, so I don't think he can really go. Now, I know he's going because of I think he's leaving because it's a mental health thing going on. So, like, if it's a mental health thing, let him take the time out he needs. Like some would say, it could be a front, and could be. I don't know. Like the guy just ends back up in WWE one day and whatnot. Because, like I said, I'm not saying don't believe mental health and all that, but don't get me wrong. I believe some people probably would try to use that as a front just to get back to the WWE. It wouldn't surprise me at the same time if they were just using the whole my mental health thing as just a way to get out of it and whatnot. So that wouldn't surprise me. But I don't think Black is doing that. Maybe I'm not sure. But I think he just wants going. I think he just wants to go back to WWE. Like I said, Triple H and him is in charge right now. So there you go. So the tables, I feel like it really turned between both WWE and AEW, where both companies are right now, because everybody's just on the Triple H train right now and want to go back there. And AEW is just damn near having a goddamn civil war in the background. Like I said, people are talking more about this than the damn pay per view. Shit, MJF, I kind of feel bad for him because it's like, man, we built up this whole return and his big thing. He got a big pop when he came out there and stuff. But now everybody's talking about CM Punk and the Elite, then talking about CM Punk versus MJF for the World Championship. Well, we knew that something like that could have been going down. And I got a phone call during these reviews all the time. But yeah, as I was saying, though, like I was just saying before about the whole leadership thing and MJF and where I'm sure like I said with the whole CM Punk MJF, that's what probably people wanted to see in the feud that had been going. It's probably one of the hottest feuds they've really been had in that company. Now it's like just been how it has to be backtracked, and we don't know where this is going to go now at this point. But it had to be done what it was. Okay, so right now people are just taking sides as it is, but I see a lot of people trying to solely blame Punk onto all this, and like I wouldn't go that far because let's remember too at the end of the day, CM Punk is the biggest draw in that company. Okay, he is the biggest star they had. He did Punk, and Khan has admitted he draws the most money, but he had to at least show like, hey, you guys should spend everybody. You can't play favorites because I'm sure everybody would bring up if Vince McMahon was, if this was Vince McMahon wouldn't be pulling this type of shit. Okay, Vince would be commanding discipline around here and keep shit in line and stuff. And it's like I said with Tony Khan before, it's just trying to be everybody's friend than being the leader. Vince, like I said, Vince at least is a leader. Okay, so, when it's time to be the boss, it's time to be the boss. All right. So, like I said, it's many ways this could have been done. But like I said, it is mostly on a lot of these guys' fault, though. Punk, just for even talking about a majority of this on the media scrum, I get it was a lot of pent up frustration and everything. And I think a lot of stuff he did say was some truth to it. But he shouldn't have done that publicly and should have did it in the back and whatnot. Because, like I said, Tony just kind of sat there, didn't know what the fuck to do, but just kind of sat there and just Punk controlled the whole thing. And the elite, well, because yes, you guys are the EVPs, but you are still active members of the roster, and y'all just can't go in the back start trying to jump folks. I get Punk called y'all out, but then again, it's like I said earlier, it takes 70 y'all just go back there to take care of one man, and these are all your crew and everything, and stuff, and y'all gonna try to take out one person. Ace Steel, he came out with the save. Like I said, Ace Steel came in and he was like, it's like, hey, not my nigga, man. Y'all ain't gonna jump him. Y'all ain't gonna jump him. Like, say he's still saving his wife, but it's like you ain't gonna take out my homie at the same time here. So it's a lot of fault that's going on and stuff. So it's like I said, it's many ways you can look at it, but there was some truth to what Punk said about what was going on, either the Cabana situation or just the elite, because we've even heard people say this stuff about the elite before with stories. So I'm sure it's going to be more stuff coming out of this. Okay. I don't know what's going to happen next. We don't know when we'll see any of these people again. It does suck that, hey, CM Punk finally gets the title reign and we want to see a title reign. But now all this shit happened again versus the injury. Now we got folks fighting in the back, their immediate scrums and just going all over the place and whatnot. It's people I know would say it's like it's high school back there right now. Okay, it's anybody's ball game. Basically, it's just cliques and groups, and we don't really got a leader. So this is why we're in the position. They're in the position right now. But like I said before, they had to make this decision. There was no other way around it. They didn't address the situation. They just moved on like business as usual. So um, we'll see what happens next with this whole. But I'm sure there's gonna be more stuff gonna be coming on. So I just try and explain it the best way I can in these minutes. So just talk about this for a minute because obviously that's probably the biggest thing to talk about when it comes to AEW right now, where all these titles are going and with the CM Punk versus the Elite thing. So like I said, Civil War. But we do kick off the show with Chris Jericho, MJF. His music hits. He's got a Josh Allen jersey on. He gets a huge pop, shaking hands with Taz and everything. Buffalo Bills, all that stuff. Everybody's excited to see MJF. And, we're the Buffalo Bills, and he's got the crowd on his side, fans chanting AEW and stuff. And, he talks about the tournament. It's all about working smarter, not harder, and everything. He's got a guaranteed title shot right now. Talk about fans may think it's dark times, but now there's leadership. I'm the most qualified leader, and it starts with an M. And no, I'm not Moses. I'm better than Moses. And the fans do the whole I'm better than you, and it. John Moxley comes out telling him he's a full of crap, and you come out here and do all this stuff, and MJF, just pulls the rug and think of these grotesque people out here in America, the worst football team in America, and then talks about, he doesn't care about AEW and stuff. It's a bargaining chip for this title, until the bidding war happens in 2024. And I can go, to come in with the real fans and the real wrestlers, like the American roller coaster Cody Rhodes he mentions, or The only con that's worth a damn is Saint Nick, and his favorite wrestler is the Game, Triple H, and whatnot. And Mox says, "I'm not in the mood. You need to leave before I make you leave." MJF had took off his scarf and shirt, but then he ended up just leaving. He took a minute to get the shirt off. Moxie said your music sucks, and then he went to cut on this promo. Mox, which I'm being honest, it's just started to drag. I get what he was saying, but it just kind of just started. He was just going on, and he's just talking about yeah, just went on to say, he's pissed off and embarrassed about a lot of things. He's not the AEW World Champion right now, and he represents the sport and the passion for this business. And the AEW title represents the heroes, the world during the pandemic, the dark times. This is a belt. It doesn't mean a lot. Which I don't know why you just said the belt doesn't mean a lot. You just buy it online and hang it up. With like, dude, the title's technically supposed to mean a lot. You don't just go out and bury the damn title. But he talked about he's the ace and everything, and he lost on Sunday. And he was supposed to be on vacation until this happens, but now he's not on vacation, so he has a chance to get back to the top of the ball game and talks about everybody else that's in the match. And you know, um, he's gonna take the ball and run with it to become a legend. So I get what he was saying, but he was just starting to drag after a while because it just kind of just like started going on and on and on. Like I said before, I don't really want to see the belt back on Moxley again. I think I've had enough of this. I don't need to see another bleed and go out the ring match and stuff. And I was glad Punk had one, but obviously now we're back at square one again. So I'd rather just have MJF go over him if that's going to be the case. If he wins the tournament, then again, I don't want to see another tournament. Also, next, the Death Triangle went against the Best Friends. Very good match. Death Triangle. I'm glad they won. I think I'm like my friend. They should have just won this whole thing to begin with. Um, let's remember this whole 6-man tag belt title thing was designed for the elite to win, anyways. Okay, like Tony Khan had been waiting for Kenny Omega to come back. That's why he started doing this whole 6-man tag title tournament thing, and it was designed for the elite to win. Okay, that's all it really was. But now with the elite gone right now, the not Dark Order, the Death Triangle ended up winning. Pac is now a double champion, so I'm cool with that. So I'm glad they do have the titles though and whatnot. Like this, because the whole thing was designed for the elite, anyways. The Dark Order was in the back talking about something. Andrade and them, I guess, are still trying to get 10 to join, so we'll see what happens there. Tony Storm went against Penelope Ford. Not much I could say about this. Tony Storm won, ended kind of odd and whatnot, but remember she's the interim champion, so it's kind of whatever. The match was okay. Right after that, the Acclaim came out. They were about to wrap something until Swerve came out and talked about, he got a joke for them. And then fans started chanting asshole in. The fans were pissed that they couldn't hear the Acclaim rap. Billy Gunn basically said, it's not, it isn't Swerve's house anymore. It's Daddy Ass's house. And Bowen said, they're the Young Crown champions and everything. And that the Acclaim would take on Swerve and Swerve and our glory at the Grand Slam thing and stuff. So, you know, fans still love the Acclaim out there. So I guess Swerve and Leah heels now, since they had Swerve kind of be heelish and all that. So yeah, Keith Lee heel. I guess you could say blame the crowd from Sunday since they were on the Acclaim side. I'm telling you right now, that wasn't Chicago. That was Hoffman Estates. I don't know. I ain't got nothing to do with that. That's a whole different part. Not Chicago, Hoffman Estates. Chris Jericho and the Jericho Appreciation Society were in the back, which Chris Jericho basically said he was going to beat Bryan Danielson next week to advance to the tournament, and basically gave away the finish of the whole match. So you didn't really need to watch this match because Chris Jericho told you who was going to win this match. Not predict, well, you could say predicted, but he basically said he is going to beat Bryan Danielson next week. So you knew already it's going to be Chris Jericho and Bryan Danielson again. And, he ended up being right. Wardlow killed Tony Nese in like a minute with power bombs. Sterling got in. Then Josh the Goods Woods came out there. Um, Wardlow's been talking about the internet, saying somebody's lost a lot of momentum and everything, which it is true. But he talked to fans that stuck on day one and talk about the critics as Wardlow's world. Anybody that wants a shot at the title, telling them to come on. Hopefully get somewhere with Wardlow because he honestly was losing momentum. Uh, Danielson win against Hangman. Um, Honestly, this was the best match on the show. I'm almost surprised this really didn't main event when you think about it. 'Cause given this is a world, a tournament for a world title shot, this did eat up a lot of time. And like I said, very good match. We already knew who was going to win thanks to Chris Jericho, but a very, very good match between both of these two. Both of these guys put on bangers in the past with each other for the world title, and this was no different here. So I really did enjoy this, and I'm glad Danielson won, got the O'Connor roll for the win. So Brian Danielson moves on into the tournament and whatnot. They had another promo video about Jungle Boy, talk about Christian's injury, and I guess he's going to get him soon enough. Stokely and crew were out there. I guess he was going to address what he did, but he didn't want to do that. And they ended up beating up some, like, some dude out there saying, you better respect me like I was your father and everything. And then they all beat this guy up, and Morrissey kicks him, and boom, there you go. West Side Gun was out there. Like, he had his whole crew out there to do a performance. This is Buffalo, and Daniel Garcia is from Buffalo, and basically he did a whole entrance for him and whatnot. You got to hear Caprice Coleman on commentary also, just for the Pure Wrestling Championship. They had the judges out there: Jerry Lynn, Matt Sydal, B.J. Whitmer, Bobby Cruz was the announcer because it's ROH and stuff. So like I said, I enjoyed this match. Very great main event. It's you and him. I did like it. I did like the finish. Yuta doing his submission and Garcia doing the submission, and Yuta ended up tapping out then, and whatnot. So Garcia went in his hometown. Danielson came out, uh, and everything. They shook hands. Danielson had the title. He put it on Daniel Garcia then. As Chris Jericho looked out all pissed off and everything, as Garcia and Danielson end up celebrating in the end and stuff. So I'm sure like Chris Jericho is now mad for what he did and everything, and I'm sure he's gonna want payback on Garcia and stuff. So we'll see what goes on from there. But very great main event and whatnot. I enjoyed that in the world title match, but obviously, like I said, mostly the biggest news out of this is where they were gonna address the whole AEW World Title and six-man tag belts. And obviously, they've stripped the belts off them. And like I said, we're doing another tournament. I don't want to see another fucking tournament, it's too many damn tournaments in this company. And we see just too many tournaments. Okay, and they crowned new six-man tag champs tonight. So they did what they had to do in this whole thing. Like I said, it's enough going on with this whole punk and elite thing going on. I don't know what's gonna happen next, but like I said before, to what I have read and to what I've seen, it sounds like more of a jumping. Okay, it really does. But I'm sure we're gonna be hearing more news out of this with days to come. So it's many ways to look at this. I'm sure people are gonna take sides and whatnot. Like I've said what I've had to say already about the whole thing. I like I said, I'm sure there's probably more detail gonna come out about this at the end of the day. Just what we've read. We don't know what really happened back there. Maybe this is true, maybe it's not. But you know, it's a shit show. It's just a whole shit show. That's all this really is. Like it's civil war at this point. It's anybody's ball game in the back. So I've said what I've had to say on both sides and what I agree with that with whoever. Like I said, I do agree with what a lot of Punk said on there. I don't think he was wrong. So we don't know what's gonna happen next with any of these people, okay? But other than that, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at HoodieKnight890. Check out any of the review that is uploaded online right now. I'll see y'all then. Peace out.